To Afghanistan now, which has been facing decades of economic crisis, which has been compounded by the Taliban's return to power. One of the ways the country has been trying to increase revenues is by mining its gemstones and other minerals. We have a report now from one mine in Goshtab in eastern Afghanistan, where jade extraction is helping the local economy. Afghanistan is one of the poorest countries in the world, but the resources buried across its rocky landscape are estimated to be worth $1 trillion. Resources like these, blocks of jade, the workers and machines deployed at this mine in the eastern Goshtab district are helping extract this precious gemstone. The biggest customer of this mine is China, where raw jade is exported. There are no technicians capable of processing jade for the international market. It's sent from here to China, where it's processed into products for international markets. It's used to make jewelry such as bracelets and rings and so on. As the Western world cut ties with the Taliban, they have turned to regional countries willing to work with them. China is one of the biggest investors. Russian and Iranian investors have also signed mining licenses. The extraction, exploration, and processing of mines requires a great deal of financial and technical capacity. Afghans do not have such skills, which is why we want to attract foreign investors, because they have the technical experience and financial capacity. So both Afghans and foreign companies benefit. The Taliban estimate that 150,000 jobs have been created by the mining sector since 2021, giving employment to Afghans like these working in a goldsmith's workshop in Kabul. Workers here cut, polish, and engrave the gemstones. Now, an analysis by Financial Times showed that around 80 or so contracting sites have shown signs of development and expansion. World Bank also says that around 7% of expansion in the mining sector has helped in industrial growth in Afghanistan from year 2023 to 2024. Now, the Taliban say that they have improved certain systems. For example, they have cracked down on corruption. They have increased security. They are becoming more transparent. But experts say that while doing so, Taliban are bypassing important technical, financial checks, even environmental checks, and there are also reports of child labor. So in some mines, children as young as 8 are working as miners without any proper machinery and sometimes with no protective gear at all. Now, you mentioned the security situation. Is that a threat to further develop mining projects? So, overall security situation in Afghanistan has improved. But according to the UN, Afghanistan still is a home to multiple terrorist groups. For example, Islamic State Khorasan still poses the greatest threat to the region. We know that last year's attack in Russia in the concert hall was claimed by Islamic State Khorasan. Last month, a Chinese mine worker was killed, and Islamic State Khorasan claimed responsibility for that attack. Now, that's an enemy group for the Afghan Taliban. But Afghan Taliban are also accused of working with the militants. For example, the UN report says that Afghan Taliban with Al-Qaeda are working with a militant group, Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan. That is a group that is waging war against the Pakistani state and has killed thousands of Pakistanis. Now, they have reports and evidence that show that both Taliban and Al-Qaeda are facilitating cross-border attacks into Pakistan, so security remains still a huge concern. Very briefly, the Taliban lack international recognition. That's not stopping other countries in the region from buying precious metals, right? There are 3 important reasons. Economy, for example. All of these important regional powers like China and Russia are buying these resources that are used in, like laptops, computers, mobiles, and many other things, but also they want to take the space that was controlled by the Western world. And lastly, also, security is an important issue. They don't want a weak Taliban where militant groups attack these countries. The United Nations has condemned the recent freeze on U.S. aid programs in Afghanistan, saying that it will suspend services that, quote, provide a lifeline for women and girls in crisis living under Taliban rule. Afghanistan is a mosaic state. It's composed of numerous ethnic and groups. And of course, the Taliban is only one representing a particular group. That's the Kazoi group among the Pashtuns themselves. And at the same time, some of the Arab states, they can increase their contributions. Instead of really trying to play politics in Afghanistan in terms of exporting their own competitions to that country, I think what they should really try to do is to focus more on the humanitarian aid, but at the same time, making sure that the pressure is kept up on the Taliban so that they can really give up these extremist dispositions that they have adopted so far. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment.